We know that a language changes as we move from place to place. In India, for example, you go from one state to another and the language changes. And it changes gradually, like people start talking in a different dialect first, and then as you move further and further and you move into a new state, it's a new language then, and a recognized language at that as well. Um, but do you know that the language also evolves over time? Yeah, of course. I mean, it sounds very obvious when I say it, but to what extent have you ever given that a thought? I want you to take a look at this. I think it's 17th or 18th century document on the screen. You will recognize what they're talking about, but you're going to have a hard time reading. And you can see this funny character which looks like an F. Clearly, that's an S, but it's written like an F. So I did some digging on the internet, and I found that back in the day they used to denote a soft S sound with that particular character. So that was remarkable to me that in 200, 300 years a language can change so much, and maybe in 400, 500 years it can change so much that it's barely comprehensible to us without a guide. When you read, for example, Old English from Shakespeare, like you probably need a guide to read and understand it fully. Now, this is significant because think about it. Whatever we are writing today uh, is going to have a similar fate in 300, 400 years. What does that mean? Maybe in 300, 400 years, whatever we are writing as of today will also be incomprehensible if we are sticking to a standardized English language. So, why does a language evolve? Many reasons. It starts borrowing loan words from other languages. For example, juggernaut is one. I'm just giving an example. And then there could be many reasons, like people migrate a lot. And today, in the English speaking world at least, a lot of migration is happening. So in USA, Canada, UK, Australia, everywhere you have, the Indian folks, Chinese folks, everybody is sort of migrating. So we can expect that the English language itself might evolve, in a few years' time, and maybe it will have new loan words from borrowed from Hindi, Chinese, Telugu, and all of those languages as well. And even today, because of the internet as well, the language has changed. Because of shorthand, we use so many short forms as well. So, if this is a trend that we are observing, then in 300, 400 years, is it possible that if we were to write a book today which is completely corrupted in terms of language, so let's say I write a novel, which contains all these short forms and all the loan words, and if one were to read it today, uh, they would be like pulling their hair, like, what the hell have you written? This is not English. But maybe in 300, 400 years' time, that might be the most comprehensible document to the people living in that era. And the simple English language documents, which write perfect English, like the Pulitzer Prize winning books of today, might just be completely incomprehensible. So if you're a budding writer or you plan to be a novelist, just something to think about. If you want to write a work which is relevant and readable 300, 400 years down the line, think about how you can write in a language which might be comprehensible 300, 400 years down the line, instead of writing it only for today's English purists.